safflower oil, rapeseed oil, and just basically any type of oil that comes from a vegetable. It's 2023, and if you still eat seed oils, then you are living under a rock. Eating seed oils is literally like playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. There's been a mass anti-seed oil movement going around recently, but I'm going to actually explain to you how bad these things really are and why you should avoid them at all costs. See, in the last 100 years, everyone has gotten really sick, and in the last 100 years, the main thing that has changed is a massive increase in consumption of seed oils. You see, before the 1900s, we used to use butter, we used to use lard, we used to cook our food in animal fat because we knew that that was good for us, and that's what our ancestors would have done. They would have been eating higher fats. And these seed oil things, they were used to literally lubricate the machines. They were used as machine lubricants. And well, what's happened since we've swapped the animal fats out for these vegetable oils, these highly defended parts of a plant, the seed that do not want to be eaten, into all our foods? Well, here's a graph right here that shows seed oil consumption with basically every single chronic illness, and it's increased by 1,000 times, and this basically is the main culprit for, well, how did everyone fall for this lie, and why did we stop eating animal fat? Well, this guy in the 1950s came in and he performed some studies and came out with a conclusion that fat was bad for us. That's why you probably see that around the 1960s is when everyone started adopting a low-fat diet. But was he really right though? He proposed that saturated fat and cholesterol is bad for us, and that is the reason why you see now today everyone telling us to stop eating red meat and saturated fat. He proposed a diet. This proposition was called the diet heart hypothesis. You see, before Ansel Keys, it was known that sugar was the cause of heart disease and that fats were healthy for us. Fats were needed. Cholesterol is in every cell of our body, and we need saturated fats to function and to thrive on. And fat was sought after heavily by our ancestors. But it didn't profit a lot of the sugar companies. You see, all these cereal companies like Kellogg's, they came out and they made a lot of money of promoting this low-fat diet. It means that less people would be eating bacon and eggs. I mean, a grandparent I've spoken to told me that when they were a kid, all they ate was bacon and eggs. And now every kid my age literally just goes and eats cereals for breakfast, or eats some Kellogg's or cornflakes or, Fruity Loops, the stuff that isn't good for you. And ever since then, we've been pushed this lie that the unsaturated fats, the omega-6s, the seed oils are the healthy ones, and that the saturated fats, the animal fats, the butters, the eggs, the red meat are really bad for you. And well, what's happened since then? Well, let's see, did this advice really work? Well, all the Americans followed this advice. They followed the food pyramid to a T, and dementia, cancer, diabetes, obesity has skyrocketed. The modern medical system wants us to believe that these diseases are all genetic, and that there's nothing you can do to stop cancer. There's nothing you can do to stop dementia. You're just born with it. It's inherited by your parents. But little do they know that all of these syndromes and issues come back to your metabolic state and come back to having a poor metabolic health. Seed oils are one of the biggest endocrine disruptors in today's environments, and they will absolutely nuke your testosterone and also decrease fertility. I mean, there's many other reasons why the average man's testosterone is decreasing by 1% every year in the last 50 years, but I believe that these polyunsaturated fats, especially the oxidized ones, are the main culprit of this. See, according to the study below, it says these vegetable oils may be the strongest endocrine disrupting substance in today's environment. They're literally hidden in all our foods, and little do they know they're causing infertility. I mean, these things are bad. The next major issue seed oils contribute is to obesity. I mean, every single person I see outside is basically fat or overweight at this point, or skinny fat. And you see, 100 years ago, the average person in Walmart today would have been absolutely rare back then. And seed oils has got something to say as the main culprit in this health issue as well. You see, in this study, I know it's in rats, but 3 groups of rats all ate the same calories. One ate beef fat, one ate olive oil, and the other one ate safflower oil, which is a type of seed oil. The group that ate safflower oil actually gained 15% more fat than the other groups despite eating the same calories. And I know the study's in rats, so don't come out at me, but seed oils are shown to increase your ghrelin hormone, which makes you more hungry, and stunt the hormone that tells you you're full. So, I mean, whenever I eat seed oils now, which is very, very rare, I always just get so much more hungry after it, because it's a thing that makes you addicted. There's a reason why in all these fast foods, you're so addicted to them, because there's seed oils in them. Next, cancer. Yes, seed oils plays a role in cancer as well. Although you may think it's genetic mutations and it's genetic, it looks like the breakdown of these seed oils play a major role. These researchers actually state that it is almost impossible to get cancer unless you have consumed seed oil. So seed oils, these include palm oil, canola oil, safflower oil, rapeseed oil, and just basically any type of oil that comes from a vegetable. So yeah, according to Thomas Seyfried, there's not one cancer that doesn't have damaged cardiolipin, which is exactly what seed oils are known to do. The last major thing that seed oils is a culprit to is heart disease. You see, the reason we're in all this mess is because some studies in 1950 suggested that fat is bad for us and LDL cholesterol is bad for us. So, even though these studies were fraudulent and paid for by the sugar industry, and saturated fat is not actually the issue, because in patients who have coronary heart disease or heart disease, the cholesterol actually has to be oxidized first, which is the bit that they missed out on. And it is linoleic acid, which is the breakdown of seed oils and the acid from seed oils, that actually oxidizes this cholesterol. After it's oxidized, the immune cells take it up and it forms plaque in the arteries. Here's a study below that showed, and we've actually looked into the human aortas, these studies actually confirm it, that the human aortas are mainly comprised of polyunsaturated omega-6 fatty acids, which is what seed oils are concentrated in. The sad part is that we knew about all of this 50 years ago, but they kept silent about it because they made profit and they pushed this whole low-fat diet, high-sugar, high-seed oil diet, and now we're into so many issues today, and instead of just coming out and confessing that they were wrong, they're trying to cover up and blame all of these diseases which are so-called genetic to be incurable, and to be incurable, and there's no root cause, when people didn't have all these heart attacks and cancers like thousands of years ago. That just wasn't the case. It just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, and the proof of that is in the last 50 years, all of these diseases have skyrocketed, even though that everyone has adopted their healthy diet. Why is everyone getting even more and more sick? And to be honest, seed oils do way more than just all this other stuff. It just destroys the mitochondria in your body, which mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cell. It affects every single process in your cell, whether it's to make energy, to make ATP, to just function. So everything you do is going to be, I guess, subpar when you're consuming seed oils. And I felt this. I felt this recently. I was actually at a university open day with my best mate, and because we're carnivores, we don't eat bread or seed oils or any of that stuff. We went to the lunch catering section and there was a chicken schnitzel sandwich, and we were really hungry, so we just took all the bread off, and a lot of people were staring at us and thinking we were really weird, but whatever. We took all the bread off, all the lettuce off, and we just ate the chicken. And little did we know the chicken still had mayonnaise on it, and there was seed oils. You see, the way we found this out was around 10 to 15 minutes later, in real time. We were walking upstairs and we just literally felt so tired. We just both crashed at the exact same time, and after that moment, I'm seriously allergic to seed oils. I mean, when I go into restaurants now or any place, I say to them, I'm allergic. I can't have seed oils, and you guys should say that too, because we don't even know how bad this stuff is. I mean, all the science and evidence is coming out now, but I can't imagine how much more there is. So yeah, make sure after this video, you go to your cupboard, you check the back of the packets, you check anything that's got seed oils, palm oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, flaxseed oil, any of that oil, you check it and you throw that crap out of your house. Here's a clip of me going to my friend's cupboard and just... Wait, Ed, what's this?
What do you mean?
What's this?
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, I swear.
Are you serious?
No, that was my sister, yeah.
Taking his vegetable oils out of his house, I mean, you'd be surprised, it's in everything. And tell your parents, tell your family to just stop eating this stuff, because it is seriously toxic. I hope you got some insight into this video. My name is Daniel Vincent, and I'm a big believer in coming out with telling the truth about nutrition and debunking a lot of the lies that the mainstream propaganda has pushed down our throats. If you're clearly interested, hit the subscribe button and it's a win-win for both of us.